All right, everybody, big news from the Spencer Pratt campaign as he has announced that he is not going to be conceding his mayoral run and that they are going to be ending up in court. Now, how does a third place winner suddenly sprint into second place? Well, that's probably what they're going to be going to court about. Everybody thinks that the election, there's some funny business going on, and by an avalanche of late arriving mail-in ballots, it's giving people credence and credibility to think that the LA mayor election, there was something wrong. This is not an anomaly, but this seems like the status quo, the standard to many races in California. This is why people think that California elections are rigged. The mail-in ballots. In California, the law for mail-in ballots is we're going to count them for a month afterwards. All you have to do is date the ballot on election day and it's deemed good. And never mind the fact that countries with a lot more people count their ballots all in one night. It takes California a whole month to count ballots. And why mail-in ballots are easy to cheat in is because the side that is cheating and counting the votes can see how many ballots are needed, and then suddenly a box of mail-in ballots will show up and will give the advantage to a person that is losing. And we have seen some stuff online already about how there's some weird stuff going on. First, you got Karen Bass, who was caught near an election poll place trying to get people to vote for her, which is completely illegal, by the way. And then you got reports of people paying homeless people to vote. $5 here, $2 here, sign up and vote for this person, and we're going to give you $5, Mr. Homeless Man, so you can go buy your bottle of alcohol. And that's exactly what we saw happen. We saw people that were not even alive voting, and then we've also seen Spencer Pratt voters getting their ballots returned because of a questionable signature. We've also gotten reports of ballots being found in the garbage, and who knows how many of those went for Spencer Pratt and how many of those didn't go for Spencer Pratt. But the point of it is that with this mail-in ballots, no ID, and whatnot, it's turned into a whole spectacle that didn't need to happen. And this is all part of a system that looks like it's rigged for a certain party. And when you have a third place person surge past the second place person, not on election night, after election night, a week after election night, this person allegedly got 40% of the vote. She couldn't win her own district, but she got 40% of the mail-in balloting vote, and the other person got 60%, and then Spencer Pratt got 0 votes out of 24,000 people, and that's how you win. Like, that is a clear indication that something is afoul in California elections. And it's taken a man like Spencer Pratt to bring this into the mainstream narrative, because this hasn't really been talked about. Okay. And being from California, I've seen it before. We saw it with Steve Garvey and Adam Schiff. There was also Carmela, the lady that ran for president, Harris, and she beat out the district attorney on the strength of mail-in ballots that came in late. So this has been going on for a long time, and the narrative is that this is how they keep their supermajority in California. California has more, Republicans than any other state, but you wouldn't know it based on the voting. And how are they doing? How are they doing the voting? Well, everybody gets a mail-in ballot. You can't ID the people, and then you can take mail-in ballots for a week after the election ever happens. It's actually an election month. It's not even an election day. Like, and then it takes like a month to count them when it should only take 6 hours. So this, I mean, it's clearly the system is rigged. It's so clear it's not even funny. But no, trust us. We're just a little bit slow. Trust us. No, we don't trust you. Sorry. We just don't trust you. And so now that the smoke is cleared, we got a guy like Jimmy Kimmel coming out and saying, "Oh, ha ha ha, Spencer Pratt, you lost. Ha ha ha. Here's a rental truck so you can move." And Spencer Pratt responds, says, "Oh, well, you know what? I don't need a rental truck. I don't need a U-Haul because all my stuff burned in the fire because you guys burned my house down. So you could sell it to developers who could, build Section 8 housing. This is really sickening. It's really sickening. And we need to get people in there that are going to put a stop to this, because it's looking like once you vote these people in, they don't leave. They refuse to leave. And then they give themselves $500,000 salaries. And they're terrible at their jobs. So terrible. So the silence from the mainstream media regarding these allegations is all we need to know. If we look at the people on one side, they're telling you what's going on, and then you look at the people on the other side and they're saying, well, it's not really going on, or they're just silent about it. They're not saying anything. I think that's all you need to know when it comes to Spencer Pratt and his election, that he should be in second place. Not saying he's going to beat Karen Bass, but he should be in second place. So if he is able to pull it out, that would be a miracle. Because in the 2020 election, we saw the same thing. It came out that Georgia voted, there were 340,000 voters that got voted twice that end up giving the state to Biden. But it came out 5 years later, which does nobody any good at all. There has to be something that people can do in the meantime. Not 5 years, then, there's nothing you can do 5 years later. Okay. Well, I mean, luckily Trump got elected again, I guess. But it's like, now too much time has passed. Nothing can happen. And so obviously there are people voting that shouldn't be voting. You go watch a video by Steven Crowder. He can outline more. He can, if you need more proof that they're registering mail-in ballots and sending them in, people that don't even, complexes that don't even exist to people that don't exist, go watch a Steven Crowder video on it. He's got a great video on it where he goes to the actual sites, just like Nick Shirley does, and finds that there's no building actually there. Okay. So, I don't think I'm going to put a link to that, but you can find it under Louder with Crowder. Anyways, so Spencer Pratt is not conceding. The Democrats won, and that's why everybody thinks that the election is rigged, because of everything that has went down. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm going to take some time and watch kind of how it plays out. I think there are some election anomalies. We've had several statisticians come out and say that there are some election anomalies. It's 1,000,000,000,000 to 1. It's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that Spencer Pratt didn't get the amount of votes out of this voting dump that they're saying that he did. So, obviously, there's as a stats guy, I think that 1,000,000,000 to 1, it's too much. There's just no way that he didn't get 0 votes out of 24,000. It doesn't make sense. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What am I missing? Why do you think it's not? If you think it's not. And should Spencer Pratt be the mayor of LA? All right, dudes. Catch you next time.